Aussie Tap water versus bottled water. G'day everyone! Welcome back to Versus Vault, where we dive deep into common topics to help you make informed decisions. Today, we're talking about a debate that a lot of us think about, but don't always dig into. Tap water versus bottled water in Australia. Should you be spending money on bottled water, or is Aussie Tap water just as good? Stick around as we break down the pros, cons, and everything you need to know about drinking water in Australia. We also list the top 10 and worst 10 countries for tap water consumption around the globe. Tap water in Australia. Let's start with the tap water. In most parts of Australia, tap water is considered safe to drink. Major cities like Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, and Perth all have well-regulated water supplies. Water authorities work hard to ensure that drinking water meets safety standards set by both Australian regulations and the World Health Organization. They test for harmful substances, bacteria, and even the taste to make sure what comes out of your tap is good. Where tap water is safe. Most urban areas, including major cities and many regional towns, provide water that is treated to a high standard. In these areas, tap water is not only safe, but also very convenient and cost-effective. Where tap water might not be safe. Now, not all parts of Australia are equal when it comes to water quality. In some rural or remote areas, especially where there's a reliance on bore water or rainwater tanks, the quality can be inconsistent. Communities relying on untreated water, like some remote Indigenous communities, may need to boil water before consuming it. And in some parts of Western Australia and the Northern Territory, tap water can have a high mineral content that makes it taste off or even unsafe without additional filtration. If you're travelling to these areas, it's always a good idea to double-check whether the local tap water is safe for drinking. You can do this by checking with locals or using online resources provided by local councils. The pros and cons of tap water. The pros. Cost. Tap water is virtually free. You only pay for your water bill, which makes it infinitely cheaper than bottled alternatives. Environmental impact. No plastic, no unnecessary packaging, and no carbon emissions from transport. Choosing tap water over bottled water is an eco-friendly move that helps reduce plastic pollution. Health benefits. Tap water in most Australian cities contains added fluoride, which helps in maintaining dental health. It's one of the reasons Australians have a relatively low incidence of cavities compared to other countries. The cons. Taste and odour. Some people don't like the taste of tap water, especially when it contains chlorine. This can be more noticeable in some areas than others. Potential contaminants. Although rare, tap water can sometimes contain small amounts of contaminants. Aging pipes, for example, might add lead in older homes, although this is usually within safe limits. Bottled water in Australia. The pros. Convenience. Bottled water is super convenient. You can grab it anywhere, whether you're travelling or at a sporting event. Taste. Many people prefer bottled water for its neutral taste, often filtered and stripped of any minerals or chlorine that might be present in tap water. Emergency use. Bottled water can be a lifesaver during emergencies, like natural disasters, when tap water might not be available or safe to drink. The cons. Cost. Bottled water can cost anywhere between 500 to 2,000 times more than tap water. That's a massive cost when you consider that, in most cases, you're buying the same quality of water you get from the tap. Environmental impact. Plastic bottles contribute significantly to pollution. Even if you recycle, the process of making, transporting, and disposing of plastic bottles leaves a huge carbon footprint. Quality control. Surprisingly, bottled water is not necessarily better quality than tap water. In fact, some bottled waters in Australia are essentially just treated tap water. Plus, there's less strict regulation compared to tap water, so it's harder to know exactly what you're getting. The science of tap water. Let's take a quick look at the science behind tap water. Tap water undergoes several stages of treatment to make it safe for drinking. Chemical treatments. The main chemicals used in tap water treatment are chlorine, fluoride, and sometimes chloramine. Chlorine is added to kill harmful bacteria and viruses, making sure the water stays free of pathogens. Chloramine, a combination of chlorine and ammonia, is also sometimes used for disinfection, especially in areas where water needs to stay safe for longer periods during transport. Fluoride. Fluoride is added to promote dental health. While there has been some debate about fluoride, major health organisations, including the Australian Dental Association, endorse its use as a safe and effective way to reduce tooth decay. Other treatments. The water also goes through a filtration process to remove sediments, dirt, and other particles. In many places, additional treatments such as UV radiation or ozone treatment is used to further purify the water without adding more chemicals. Interesting facts. Did you know that tap water is tested more frequently than bottled water? Water authorities continuously monitor tap water for a range of contaminants, including heavy metals, pesticides, and bacteria. This means that tap water is generally more tightly regulated compared to bottled water. The pH level of tap water is also adjusted to ensure that it is neither too acidic nor too alkaline, which helps to protect both the pipes and your health. Hard and soft water. You might have heard people talking about hard and soft water, but what does it actually mean? Hard water. Hard water contains high levels of minerals, primarily calcium and magnesium. These minerals get picked up as the water passes through rocks and soil. Hard water is not harmful to drink, but it can cause issues around the house. It often leaves behind mineral deposits, which is why you might notice a white buildup on your shower head or taps. This buildup is called lime scale. Soft water. Soft water, on the other hand, has a low concentration of these minerals. Naturally, soft water is often found in areas where water passes through granite or other non-porous rock, which doesn't add minerals to the water. Softened water can also be created using water softeners that replace calcium and magnesium with sodium or potassium. Is tap water hard or soft? In Australia, whether tap water is hard or soft depends largely on where you live. For example, Adelaide is known for having hard water due to the high mineral content, while Melbourne generally has softer water. In most cities, the water is treated to reduce hardness, but it's not completely removed. Bottled water. Most bottled waters are either naturally soft or treated to remove excess minerals, giving them a neutral taste. Some bottled waters, like mineral water, intentionally retain high levels of minerals for their supposed health benefits or distinctive taste. That green tinge on your shower head. If you've noticed a green tinge on your shower head, that's likely due to copper corrosion. When hard water reacts with copper plumbing, it can cause a greenish-blue deposit to form, which is known as patina. This isn't harmful, but it does indicate that the water is reacting with your pipes, possibly due to high mineral content or acidic water. Regular cleaning with vinegar can help remove this buildup. Interesting facts. Hard water can also make it more difficult for soap to lather, which is why you might feel like you're using more soap or shampoo in certain areas. On the flip side, soft water can sometimes feel slippery because it doesn't leave behind residue, which can make it feel like soap isn't rinsing off completely. Outbreaks and contaminants in tap water. While tap water in Australia is generally safe, there have been instances where water supplies have been contaminated, making it temporarily unsafe to drink. The Sydney Cryptosporidium and Giardia outbreak, 1998. One of the most notable incidents occurred in Sydney in 1998 when the water supply was found to be contaminated with Cryptosporidium and Giardia, two types of microscopic parasites. These pathogens can cause gastrointestinal illnesses, leading to symptoms like diarrhea, stomach cramps, and fever. The contamination led to a boil water alert for millions of Sydney residents, advising them to boil their water before drinking or using it for cooking. Resolution. Authorities quickly responded by increasing filtration and disinfection processes, along with extensive testing to ensure the pathogens were eliminated. The water supply was closely monitored, and the boil water notice was lifted once the water quality met safety standards again. Since then, improvements in water treatment infrastructure and monitoring have been implemented to prevent similar occurrences. Other common issues. Other potential issues that have affected Australian tap water include algal blooms in reservoirs, which can release toxins into the water, and contamination from heavy rainfall, which can wash pollutants into water supplies. In most cases, authorities act swiftly by issuing alerts, increasing water treatment, and conducting thorough testing until the issue is resolved. Pathogens to watch out for. Cryptosporidium, a parasite that is resistant to chlorine, making it harder to eliminate through standard treatment. It can cause gastrointestinal illness. Giardia, another parasite that causes similar symptoms to Cryptosporidium and can spread through contaminated water. E. coli. Although rare, E. coli contamination can occur, especially after heavy rainfall that causes runoff from agricultural areas to enter water supplies. How issues are addressed. When contaminants are detected, water authorities typically issue boil water notices, increase chlorine levels, and conduct rigorous testing to ensure safety. These measures, along with improvements in infrastructure and regular monitoring, help keep Australia's water supply among the safest in the world. Tap water supplies around the world. Tap water quality varies greatly around the world, and some countries are renowned for their high-quality tap water, while others struggle to provide safe drinking water. Let's take a look at the top and worst countries for tap water quality. Top 10 countries for good tap water supply. Switzerland. Switzerland is often praised for its clean and fresh tap water, sourced from natural springs and treated to the highest standards. Norway. Norway's tap water is clean, fresh, and often sourced from glacial springs, making it some of the purest in the world. Finland. With a focus on environmental protection, Finland provides high-quality tap water that is safe to drink without any additional treatment. Sweden. Sweden's tap water is sourced from lakes and underground aquifers and is thoroughly treated to ensure it is clean and safe. Austria. Austrian tap water is sourced from alpine springs and is known for its purity and great taste. Germany. Germany has strict regulations for drinking water quality, and tap water is often cleaner than bottled water. New Zealand. New Zealand's tap water is sourced from pristine natural areas and undergoes rigorous treatment to ensure safety. Denmark. Denmark's tap water is safe and clean, with a focus on reducing chemical additives during treatment. Canada. Canada has a high-quality tap water supply, especially in urban areas where water treatment is closely monitored. Australia. Australia has a well-regulated water supply, with major cities providing clean, safe tap water to residents. Worst countries for tap water. Consumption. Pakistan. Tap water in Pakistan is often contaminated with pathogens and pollutants, making it unsafe for direct consumption. Nigeria. Limited access to clean water and inadequate infrastructure make tap water in Nigeria unsafe in many regions. India. In many parts of India, tap water is contaminated with bacteria, viruses, and pollutants, making it unsafe to drink without treatment. Mexico. Tap water in Mexico is notorious for contamination, and it is generally advised to avoid drinking it without proper filtration. Bangladesh. Contaminants like arsenic and pathogens make tap water in Bangladesh unsafe without adequate treatment. Ghana. Tap water quality is inconsistent, with many areas lacking the infrastructure for proper treatment and filtration. Uganda. Tap water in Uganda is often untreated and contaminated, requiring boiling or filtering before consumption. Cambodia. Water treatment infrastructure is lacking in many areas, making tap water unsafe to drink without further purification. Honduras. Inconsistent water treatment and contamination issues make tap water in Honduras unsafe for drinking. Indonesia. Tap water in Indonesia is often contaminated with pathogens and chemicals, and it is not recommended for consumption without boiling or filtering. Interesting facts. The quality of tap water depends on various factors, including the source of the water, the treatment processes used, and the infrastructure in place. Countries with advanced infrastructure, strong regulations, and abundant natural water sources tend to provide better quality tap water. Some more interesting facts. Did you know that Australians consume over 726 million litres of bottled water every year? And yet, studies show that many Australians can't tell the difference between tap and bottled water in blind taste tests. In one survey, a large percentage of people actually preferred tap water over some bottled brands. And here's a surprising fact. It takes about 3 litres of water to produce a single 1 litre plastic bottle. That's not exactly efficient. Add that to the fact that plastic bottles are one of the most common pollutants found in Australian beaches, and you begin to see why bottled water might not be the best choice. When bottled water makes sense. Now, we're not saying that bottled water is always a bad choice. If you're in an area where the quality of tap water is questionable, or if you're in transit and tap water isn't accessible, bottled water is a great backup. But for day-to-day use, tap water is the way to go, both for your wallet and for the environment. Final thoughts. So, what's the verdict? In Australia, tap water is generally your best option. It's safe, inexpensive, and environmentally friendly. Bottled water does have its place in certain situations, but as a daily choice, it's not just costly, it's also contributing to a growing plastic problem. If you liked this comparison and found it useful, hit that thumbs up button and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into everyday topics. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you prefer tap water or bottled water, and why? Leave a comment down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers!